leaders and entrepreneurs are the minority community who can impact the majority. So today we can see in the COVID times, it is the leaders who influence, who inspire, and it is the entrepreneurs who create and recreate again and again. So I felt that to build the economy back, to country or to make our country very strong, or to become a developed nation. So I was earlier inspiring students. Then I thought I better go to a teacher community. Then I was doing that. Then finally I understood that it is actually. Uh, so don't worry, I muted everybody. So I'll also see that nobody can unmute except me. Right. So it it usually happens because for some people it may be the first time. So make sure that you don't unmute yourself, right? So thank you. So we started this B Club meant for empowering and enabling leaders and entrepreneurs. So I have been inviting leaders and entrepreneurs for the physical events we have done. Now we have moved to the online platform. It is no more virtual reality, it is reality. So it is in fact much more effective than the real meetings. So thanks to this corona lockdown, so it has given us a great opportunity to introduce great leaders to society, because my page has got about 12,200 people, but anybody are open, anybody without even subscribing to my page can watch this live. So today's live talk with Kim Chadda in Hyderabad, for parents like me who have got the special children with cochlear implant. They know Kim, or they would have definitely heard at least once Kim name. And Kim is a name everybody knows because she brought the R8 to Hyderabad, and thanks to Aziza who started the R8 in Mumbai, and she is continuously doing for last, I think I know her for last about 13 years and more than that. Uh, I don't know when she has started that. So live today, she is a program director R8 Hyderabad chapter, and she is a Civil Society Hall of Fame recipient in 2016. Today's topic, she suggested me, are we listening? Because we all have ears, but how many of us usually listen? Because in India, we have talk time, there's no listen time. So hardly we listen. So many people listen actually not to understand, they listen to reply. So because our minds are constantly engaged, when we come to a stillness, then we can start listening to the voice within, then we can start listening to the hearts. So my son name is Hurday. I always feel we need to have the Hurday, that means heart, to understand him or to listen to him. If I try to listen through my ears, it's very difficult for me to understand what he is saying. But for it is easy for me when I have my heart. So I feel that Kim Chadda exactly does the same in helping the children. So Kim Chadda is the program director R8 Hyderabad chapter and a parent therapist, and R8 is oral education for the helping impaired, hearing impaired Hyderabad. So that's her introduction. So let me go ahead with the little information I have. What is her objective? Teaching and supporting children with communication difficulties that arise as part of their learning growth, as well as their overall development milestones, has been my choice of work for the last 15 years. Specialized in developing good listening skills and language to communicate among children with various developmental disabilities such as autism, ADHD, Down syndrome, and hearing impairment. Language and communication is my forte, while also working with a deep insight into the growing child and their educational, emotional, physical, and mental needs to help them grow into a whole and healthy person. So I have written a book, my dear friends, on parenting in Telugu, and it's also translated into Kannada. I written a one word there, one of the quotation there. What is poverty? Poverty is not having money, not having love, not having food, but not having an equal opportunity to choose a life of your choice. So usually with some challenges, physical challenges, people will not have that kind of opportunity. So earlier there are schools called deaf and dumb schools. Nobody is born as dumb, or at least the deaf are not dumb. But since they can't hear, they can't speak. When there's no input, there's no output. Unfortunately, the technology has helped develop initially some hearing aids, then cochlear implant has come, which made listening a possibility. But without the intervention of a speech therapist, it's not possible. And cochlear implant itself is a new, and these understanding the children and having the patience to give them the required these abilities, and especially not only with the child, they also have to work with the parents. And some of the parents and most of the parents may not be really cool inside, because there's more anxiety for the parents who have special children. So some person said, so they have physical, earlier the names used to be like handicapped, but later they have been changed with differently able. Any person with physical ability not able to see these unique talent of each child, then they are definitely I can say that they have some issue. They do not have the ability to see the differently abled children. So everybody is differently able in that case, not the special children. Every person is differently able. No person is same in this world. So our objective is this. So experience RED, oral education for the hearing impaired, branch of RED Bombay. This is Hyderabad branch. Therapist and founder of RED Hyderabad. Initiated Hyderabad Center and worked with over 250 children with hearing impairment in age group 10 months to 16 years old, and hearing impaired adults also. Wow. Personalized individual therapy with child and parent who needs guidance. And modeling. Teach children with very developmental problems. It is obstructing. Yeah. So with respect to adjustment, attention, IQ, behavior, autistic, slight MR, rubella babies, milestone delays, slow readers, writers, learners, and also extreme cases of epilepsy. All kids at RED are trying to be an integral part of the regular schools with the support of audio verbal therapy. This is the most important thing. Earlier, there are special schools. They used to go to different schools, and they always have a tag that I am not normal. But today, my son is going to a mainstream school, and nobody has the right to say that they are different. They are definitely different able, and in fact, they have a privilege. A doctor, when the surgery is going on, cochlear implant is going on, asked me, "Is your elder son normal?" So I said that both of my children are normal. It is only when we compare with somebody else, we may feel bad, but God has made us so unique, and we have no right to compare. If there are enemies to humanity, there are three enemies: comparison, perfection, and judgment. And if there are friends to humanity, I call them that is gratitude. I am grateful to God giving me such a small problem which has got a solution, and which has also given me an angel-like person in Hyderabad, which is nothing, who is nothing but Kim Chadda. Thanks to Kim and also Aziza for starting already in Hyderabad. So she is a recipient of an award, civil society. What is civil society? There are so many causes in the civil society or society where government may not pay attention to every problem. The purpose of life is, according to me, there are only two things: either solve a problem or serve a need, and they have done the both. So, in recognition of her selfless and courageous efforts to help the cause of hearing impaired children, she has received Civil Society Hall of Fame award in 2016. What is her motto? I believe that parents and family are an important part of therapy, and they should be the ones to take it forward. I feel that every school should understand this and include the parents. Unfortunately, most of the schools, parents are not part of the education. Parents are only at home. They are meant for homework. But I feel that teacher, parent, and the school management together as a teamwork can help the child. I'm looking for an organization where I can utilize my almost 20 years of experience with children of all abilities. She never written disability of all abilities and help integrate them into mainstream schools. Also, as a mother of a wonderful hearing impaired child, would like to take the experience and help counsel and motivate other parents. Only a parent can understand other parent. Since she has the child, there's no better person than Kim Chadda. She is the lady who is a leader on a mission, and you can see that not only she inspires people as a children, but also I think she is a guest on a Women's Day. This particular meeting, she asked particular question. She told me that. So, have you ever asked yourself, who am I? Recently, I heard a beautiful thing that anybody with body consciousness, usually workers are body consciousness, they know what to do. But when you know that how to do, you become a manager. But when you know why you are doing what you are doing, you become a leader. When you understand who you are, what is your actual identity, and when you get the soul consciousness, you become a mentor. That means you create more leaders. I feel that Kim has moved from, like Ajiza is a mentor, and Kim from leader, she is moving slowly into now mentor, where she will create more leaders like Kim. That's what my wish is, because 250 children is not enough. A million people needs this service in India. How many Kims we can find? How many children at a time she can help? So more Kims are required, and that is the reason we have to move in life as mentors. And there's no better person than Kim with such a consciousness, and this is her world. Helping the children is her world. I think this picture is, if I am right, this is she is Aziza. Thanks Aziza for being here. And each child matters to the Kim. And I have a quotation where of Helen Keller. Everybody talks, nobody listens. Good listeners are as rare as white crows. So Helen Keller, as all of us know, that she has how she has overcome the challenges of uh, sight and also hearing. And she said once, one journalist asked, have you not regretted for what God has done to you? She said that God has given me so many beautiful things. I have no time to regret. And somebody asked, what is your message? Life is a daring adventure or nothing. And when I see Kim, when I also know her story, her life, and I see that she's really have a thrilling journey. And ever since I see, because we see that we raise one children or two children, and we have stories. Imagine 250 children. So welcome to Kim, and thank you for accepting my invitation. And apologize for anything I missed out in introducing you. Thank you, and all of us are waiting uh, for you, Kim. It's over to you, Kim.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Kim. Yes. We can't see you.
Yeah? 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 Okay. Yeah? All right. Venu, how do you want me to start? I'd like you to start off with a question because I can't talk about myself. I prefer you direct the questions, and so I would be able to work with that. Yeah? I can't hear you, Venu.
Yeah, Sikkim, first of all, I would like to ask you that how did you choose this profession? Is it by choice or some calling or Ajija's influence?
It's been a very scary journey right from the beginning, and only Aziza could have started it for me. Well, the first child, I have my own daughter who was around 8 years, 9 years at that time, when I was asked to take the first child from Apollo, Harshit. And Aziza had called me at that time and said, take him on, and that she would be with me all through the journey and guide me, because I was very scared. I wasn't an auditory verbal therapist or into therapy at all. I was a parent of a hearing impaired child who'd kind of broken the ice with her, to be able to communicate with her and also to get her to be a listener and speaker. Aziza guided me right from the beginning to be able to handle one child, and then it went on and on and on and on in Hyderabad, as Apollo was doing surgeries without a therapy center available at the hospital in those days. And that was around 2003-04. Yeah, and so I took the first boy on, Harshit, and now he's in his 20s. He's at NIT Warangal, doing excellently well. He's a good listener, he's a good speaker, a very overall child. And through a lot of fear, a lot of fear, and didn't trust myself to teach another deaf child on my own. I took that first step with total trust that I would with Aziza as my background, and else I'm able to even carry on to today, to understand that I am capable in areas of teaching, which I didn't know initially. And teaching another deaf child was quite a bit. And anything more? So that's how I started in 2004 with Harshit, with Mahita, with Ruchil, with Natasha. I started with about 5 children, and as the center grew, I used to be at home. I used to teach at home, and that's where you visited. So my home was the entire therapy center, where we did real activities, where I was learning on the job. I also did my special education in hearing impairment for 2 years. And it kind of solidified my understanding theoretically. Practically, I learned it all from Aziza when she taught my daughter in Orange. And I was shocked as to how much a person can be there and be present for a hearing impaired child. It was very heartwarming. I never thought myself to be a teacher. Others had trust that I could, and put their trust in me and faith, and I took it on. Very fearful along the way, but with a lot of guidance, mentoring, coaching, sharing of knowledge, sharing of the passion, the enthusiasm, laughter. We shared a lot to be able to get where we are today. I think every child and parent who comes to Orange, our entire bond is laughter, and there's a lot of fun, a lot of joy, a lot of enthusiasm for what we're all going through. It's never a sad state. At Orange. So that's how I started. And it's been about 16 years. I think this is the 17th year in Hyderabad. With a lot of fear, so I was very quiet. So coming on to a video is quite a task for me, because I never got out of the center. For me, work was very important to even find myself as a teacher, as a therapist. I needed time, and we never advertised. It was always through word of mouth that children dropped into the center, and I used to have about 60 children a week to work with in 2006 and 7, 8, and then the numbers just built up, and I had Shashi Hinduja who joined me. And we moved into a center of a parent, a flat of a parent at Kairathabad. And we were still there. And we worked very quietly. And I think that's very important that you learn to work sincerely, truthfully, joyfully, and also being accountable for everything that happens, for every child, every family. It's a very important that we share with the parents and the children. That's what it is.
Thank you, Kims. And we know how bold you are when we meet you. So, and consider all of the people who are watching our children are the parents of the children. And in fact, it is like a family because today's program it is not for entrepreneurship. It is actually I'm introducing you for one reason. If there is any one parent with their child must be searching for the right mentor, a right teacher, and so I want them to know that you exist here, maybe at least one more parent, because I know that now everybody is aware, every company aware, everybody recommends as a first your name, and if they are far, if you are not accessible available, then some second another chance may come, you are the first preference. So I want people to be aware, and in fact you are in a position now to help more mentors because you're an inspiration not only for parents and children, also for the many new audiologists who are coming into this therapy. In fact, more people must come because so I feel I mean I don't know the actual data, but a million people need in India needs this help. And do we have so many even doctors are not available? Then how can we expect the audio verbal therapist?
Yeah.
We're all just a family here. So I want Aziza also to speak to introduce about Aren if she is there, if she is okay. Aziza, can you go ahead? Can I unmute you? You can also unmute yourself. You are a co-host now.
Aziza? There you've been hiding. Look.
Okay.
Please unmute yourself.
Right.
Okay, done.
Now your turn.
I won't let you off, Kim.
Yes, Aziza.
I won't let you off, Kim.
Aziza, if possible,
Yes.
I wanted to introduce what is ORED,
Yes.
how it is doing it. Yes.
ORED stands for Oral Education for Children with Hearing Loss. Can you hear me?
Yes.
And we teach them to listen and speak. Our aim really is to integrate them into society, to reduce disability. And I think as a team, as a group of people committed to this, we haven't done too badly. We have about 1,000 children enrolled with us, including Kim's. Kim's done a wonderful job in Hyderabad that I don't need to tell you. And that's it. So is there anything else you'd like to know?
Thank you, Aziza. So, how many children in India needs actually help, and you are helping 1,000 children at a time? How many children in this ORED organization have helped so far in their journey?
Oh, I really wouldn't know. Statistics is not my strong point at all. I mean, now there are,
okay, but
in every 1,000 children, there are 4 that are identified with hearing loss. So you can imagine how many there are.
yes, 29 million babies are born every year. That means 4%. That's a huge number, Aziza.
It is. It is, and that's why
Yes.
this method
I would
is,
like to ask a question, Aziza. Since you made leaders like Kim Chadda in Hyderabad, and you might have made many leaders in many places in India also, that how about starting a mentorship? Do you have any mentorship for the audiologists to become therapists so that more places, because more parents can also take it as a profession, take it as a passion instead of working somewhere else, because this gives lot of satisfaction And a mother with a cochlear implant child can help another child. That's what you identified, Kim. So how many mentors like Kim Chadda you have made or you helped so far, Aziza?
I really wouldn't know because we've had many workshops for professionals to teach them about auditory verbal therapy. And the thing is, you were talking about audiologists being converted. The thing is, they first have to accept that auditory verbal therapy is a completely different thing. Their skills are very important, but they do have to study this as a separate subject, if you want to call it that, because speech therapy is not the same as AVT. And the minute they realize that, they would have to study AVT and then be able to conduct therapy as well.
Wonderful. Thank you, Aziza. So now cochlear implant program, do you consider this as a successful in India?
Yes, I think it's wonderful. Look at the children, they're speaking like you and me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Aziza, for your contribution. You have done an awesome job, and you also given us Kim Chadda to Hyderabad. My son also got help from that. I also thank you very much for bringing Arid to Hyderabad.
Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you, Kim. It's all to you again. You have to come.
Aziza has mentored every parent in Mumbai to become a therapist.
Kim,
And,
this is about you.
No, but I'm going to talk about ORED as a whole because it's a wonderful experience to see how she's mentored every parent into a therapist. And that's what she did with me. Through all my fear and my incompetence and my inabilities, she saw something beautiful. Yeah? And that's what it is.
I have to come in here, Kim.
Yes.
That was a start, and you've been able to carry on mentoring other parents. But here, because we have such large numbers, we have a fantastic team of therapists who are actually have left me with very little work because they've become the mentors now. And they're all doing a fantastic job.
Perfect. Yes. Perfect.
Thank you, Aziza. I met her long ago, and I can feel your energy and the passion. So
she didn't have to. Yeah, she didn't have to. She didn't have to open ORED, but she did. Yeah, and that's the most beautiful aspect of. She didn't have a deaf child. She was a teacher of a regular teacher, but this sparked off something very beautiful, and that's why we're all here. Yeah, doing what we're doing with the same enthusiasm and passion for so many years, without a thought.
Very nice, Kim. So I would like to ask a question that because now cochlear implants become popular in Telugu states, also in India, because government has introduced Arogyasri scheme,
Long ago.
and it has given cochlear implants to many people. Isn't it? A lot of people got it. So that is how, because earlier only, because you remember my the first Milind Kirtane came all over the Mumbai to do the surgery for my son, but now there are doctors available everywhere here. So, and there's hundreds of surgeries being done. But unfortunately, since many parents have seen in villages that therapists are not available, so the mission is inside. So, and neither they have the hearing aids nor the cochlear implant. Then I felt that this program, how will this be successful without an audio verbal therapist? That is the most important. And again, some parents not able to afford the maintenance of the mission because every day some cable, something required. And recently the GST is also been applied, but when everybody is questioned, then finally they removed it. So this cost, Dr. Abdul Kalam has tried to reduce the cost of this cochlear implant. I think now actually it is still not affordable to many if the government is not helping. So I don't know I don't know that how far this is successful and what else is required to make this more reachable to people. You have any idea, Kim?
One thing I'd like to share with you, Venu,
Yes.
Auditory verbal approach was started with hearing aid children, not with the cochlear implant.
Wonderful.
Cochlear implant came later. My daughter is a hearing aid user, and everyone who went in for the first implant had already had about 4-5 years of early intervention with hearing aids. Yes, and profoundly deaf children, severely deaf children too, were also doing very well with the AVT approach. Yes, that started 30 years ago in Mumbai.
Wonderful. Thank you, Kim.
Yes.
Thank you for.
So that was a huge base for something better to listen to. I remember Aziza visiting us for getting Kriti implanted when she was 7. Yes. It was a huge cost then, very huge. And we didn't do it then. Yeah. So I remember those were the first young children who were going to be implanted from, Ored also. Those who had already had become good listeners with their hearing aids. It's not about the auditory verbal approach happening because of a cochlear implant coming into the market. The AVT approach has been there for a long time before that. And that's something that we have to look at very seriously, because most of our hearing aid children, even in Hyderabad, are very good listeners and speakers. Can't hear you, Venu.
Usually, I will. Thank you. I will
Audio,
share actually
audio.
link to everybody. Yeah, my audio not coming.
Audio is not very clear.
Yeah. So Kim, can you keep the mobile phone away from you?
Oh, I shall put it off. Okay.
Yeah. Or keep it away. That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
So I hope it is clear now. Parents are here, so
still,
44
okay.
people are here in Zoom conference. Any questions are welcome. I will unmute you. You can raise your hands and I'll unmute you, so that you can ask your question, my dear friends. Let's make it interactive today. So I want to ask you, whether you are aware. I want to ask you, Kim, because now any person with a differently able, the CBSE system, or I don't know about the state syllabus, has given exemption of some subjects.
Yeah.
Especially last year, there are 40 vocational courses have been introduced. So
Yeah.
the children in 9th and 10th, if they don't want maths, they can take it away. They can choose painting, or they can choose music. They can choose any of the 40 vocational courses as an alternative subject. In fact, that option must be given to every child, not just because some people may not have that intelligence according to multiple intelligence theory. So these children have that extra privilege of choosing what is their core, the 3 subjects, and they don't
You
have to
have to
get all the
change
full marks.
the whole education system.
Yes. Yes.
To make it a more workable, play-oriented one, and
Yeah,
also working on the positives and the strengths of the child and not just the weaknesses. Yeah, exemptions is one part of it that the CBSE, ICSE, and SSC boards do give. Yeah, and our children choose it when they step into the 8th grade or 9th grade, where the second language is taken away and another new subject. All of us have gone through it. Most of the children who finish their 10s have had that experience. Some of them are going through it now. So as a parent group, we are very open also about what's happening, especially in Telangana and Andhra. Anyone can get in touch with each other for help.
Thank you, Kim. So I'm looking for the questions from parents so that it will be more interactive. And
Wow.
a question here, whether AVT is available in Gujarat. Aziza must say that whether it is there. Aziza, it
Several,
cannot,
can you hear me?
yeah, we can
Yes?
hear you, Aziza.
Yeah, there are several centers in Gujarat, very successful and really doing very well. You've got centers in all the major cities.
Wow. So all 7 centers are RED or some of the, it's all RED, Aziza?
No, no, they're not ORED. They're all independent. We've had a lot of them coming for their initial workshops to learn about AVT and mapping and, you know, cochlear implants. But now there are hundreds of centers doing AVT all over the country.
So wonderful. Thank you, Ajiza, for answering. So, uh, uh, Spin, you have a question. What happens when we don't listen? So, I think please ask any questions related to.
No, that's a
So please ask any.
fantastic question. What happens when you don't listen? You don't stop, you're not aware, you ignore, yeah? You ignore the person who's spoken to you and you don't really pay attention or give any response. So it becomes an unsocial act towards the other person. Yeah?
So there's always a debate. I think there's a quote, Helen Keller's quote, that if I have a chance, if God asks me one boon, which one I choose, either sight or hearing. She said hearing, because if you don't see, you miss things. If you don't listen, you miss people. How far it is true, Kim?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what makes a human being apart from an animal, is to communicate in a language that is soul to soul and spirit to spirit, rather than just, it makes you feel. Sound makes you feel. And you can feel it on your skin, you can feel it in your head, you can feel it in your heart. Different instruments bring out different music, and you can feel it in your entire body at different parts, depending on what instrument you're playing, correct? And even the words, or whether the human voice is something that is a gift, that can, and the human mind is a gift where you can actually communicate in a language that the other person understands and responds. And you can continue a dialogue. Communication is highly essential for a social being. Yes.
Thank you, Kim. So I'm looking for more questions, but nobody is raising hand. You can raise hand looking at this so that we can unmute you. So right, Kim. So I would like to know that how important is the language? Is there any language learning device in our brain? That because the parents have usually the pain that the moment they discover that the child either do not have hearing or profound hearing loss or some hearing loss, it is initially a shock. So after some time they'll go on doctor shopping, they'll ask everybody, they'll not believe the first doctor, the first test. Even
that's all a part of a grieving cycle. Yeah.
Yes,
A
even I
grieving
have gone
cycle
through
a
that
parent
cycle.
goes through.
So it was unbelievable. It's a shock, then it's unbelievable. Then finally it will sink in. Like Corona is getting synced that we have to co-live with this. And then we will keep on asking whether my child can speak like any other child.
That's the only question a parent will ask. Will my child be able to talk?
Yes.
Because talking is two-way. One has to listen, the other speaks. And the other is listening and the other one replies. So there is a communication that is a beautiful mode that a human being uses. Yeah, to get somewhere, to get into you or to get somewhere. Or to make you even understand what one feels, what one thinks, what one wants to do, what one wants to experience. And it's something that is important for every child, every human being. So the only thing a parent will ask is, will my child talk? So for a hearing impaired child, of course you have to teach the brain to listen up. Your hearing doesn't happen in the ear, but it happens in the brain. So we teach the brain to think, to listen up, to be able to grasp the language that is repeated in context, yeah, in meaningful language that we can use at all times during his daily activities. Yeah. And the only thing a parent has to do is expose him to a very warm and safe environment, and also very creative environment, and to be able to do daily things on a routine basis and bring in the right kind of listening and spoken language to him at all times, if you have chosen to be a person or a child who's wearing a hearing aid or a cochlear implant. Lip reading and sign language is another whole sphere. So this is a choice a parent makes. That the child should be having a spoken language. Will be able to speak.
Thank you, Kim. So are you able to listen? My audio is there.
Yeah, audio is a little.
Is it audible? Okay. So I just I kept you spotlight because somehow it is with a small sound. My image is coming, so I kept you in
That's
the
all right.
limelight always.
That's
So
all
there's a
right.
question
That's all right. Yeah,
question
that's
from-
all right. As long as we can hear each other.
There's a question from. Yeah, thank you. Okay. There's a question from Praveen Reddy. Kim, we don't have special convent schools like in Chennai, such as Little Flower Convent for deaf. So, not here in Hyderabad. Can you or any plans? So, is it really required a school for deaf today? Because according to me, in countries like USA, they removed it. When the cochlear implant programming has come, there's no need for special schools, especially for the hearing impaired. What do you say, Kim?
The Western concept is very different, Venu, where the government takes hold of everything, is in charge of their medical strata. But in India, we can't do that. Yeah, in India, the government doesn't look after the medical part of a human being, you know, or the citizen. But I remember one of our boys, when he went to Australia, he moved from Ored to Australia after 2 years with us. He was not sent into a mainstream school right away. He had to go into a prep school, which trained him enough to build up his confidence and his listening enough, and also got him the second implant, which is on the house. It's part of the government program. So he got his second implant. He was in that school. He had to develop enough of language and a capability to move into the mainstream. And he did. And so he was awarded for that. It's also in other schools in America and Canada where they do have this facility. Talking about what Praveen said, of course, we can't get into schooling at all. The center itself is hard to run. Yeah, it runs on funds. It runs on the little amount of money that comes in from parents. Yeah, and Hyderabad has very few numbers comparatively to Mumbai. And the reason is because hospitals have a whole package which include therapy, which is a mountainous amount of money that even Aura doesn't charge that much at all. It's not even half. So as a package, you pay the hospital that amount to see your child only for 1 year of therapy. And so it is a private thing completely. We do have the Arogyasri for many years, right from the late 90s. But what happened there was that any and everybody were being implanted, right up to children of 12 years. So I had all ages with me at that time. And it was a hard task because children came in with nothing much. They had no language. They hadn't been wearing hearing aids also. And so it was a very, very difficult task. Those who could afford, and Arogyasri is something that happens only for a year. So, and the therapy happens for a year because it's a package that the hospital gets. But the implants were done, but the understanding of the implant was not there. So many children actually, or many families cannot afford the follow-up of accessories or even the follow-up of therapy after 1 year. So I've had most of them come to me after that year. And we have been, and ORED has been absolutely aware of their financial status, and we've had so many children coming in free.
So thank you, Kim.
And
So
we've had therapy because the child is important. Even though they've had therapy, and some of them have, even though they've gone through the Arogyasri, have come to ORED directly.
Thank you, Kim. So yeah, now I'm happy to see that a lot of questions are coming from parents and
All the parents are on it.
yeah, parents
You
of
can ask.
ORED and doctors. So because you are looked up to many people, because it's all teamwork. There has to be an audiologist. There has to be a doctor who does that surgery, and the cochlear implant staff, because it's a post implant service is very much important. If the cable is not available, if the battery is not available, if the service is not available, if the upgrade is not available, it's going to be tough. So that is why today we have few companies, and it is also for parents. It's difficult for to choose which one to choose, because hardly any association. Parents do not have any community to exchange their views. So definitely, I would like to start once everything is fine. At least in Zoom, I thought maybe this is a first platform where you can bring all the parents as a community, so that they can exchange a lot of things. And new parents who discovered their child and has gone for cochlear implant doesn't have to go through all the trauma and the anxiety what the parents have gone through, so they can stand for them, and they can be in fact a kind of mentors. So recently I have seen when earlier somebody recommended me the 2 cochlear implants, but I did not go, because hoping that why should he has all the 2. Instead I went for 1, and I went for the highest one, so that music is also possible. So I'm happy with that decision. But I have seen another child with 2 implants speaking as normal as any other kid. So that gives me because that I don't have the evidence when I have gone for the surgery. So if these community meetings happens, and definitely those kind of ideas would come. So probably we all can take initiative. I think Chittibabu garu would like to ask one question. Sir, I have unmuted. Please go ahead, Chittibabu garu.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the
Considering the cost of cochlear implant accessories, like we saw that additional impact is on the GST thing also. So, I mean, was there any representation from all the ORED community and from all of the hearing community? This is question to Aziza. Ma'am, do you know any update from the government or anything regarding this cost wise? I mean, will GST be removed again?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay. So there has been a lot of representation, not just by ORED, but several centers, several surgeons.
Correct.
And the GST was brought down from 28% to 18% for accessories. But they don't seem to want to bring it down any lower.
Okay, okay. I mean, they don't earn anything from this. Like, there are hardly very few people here, and getting it on, putting it a stress on already expensive things, and also on a disabled children.
Yes, it is. It's very
painful.
distressing, and all of us feel the same way, but nothing's been able to change their minds.
It's a very high-end thing. Yeah, it's a device. It's very high-end.
Yeah.
And maintenance is also high-end.
Yes.
True.
So it's a call a parent takes. Yeah, it's a very conscious call.
But you know, Kim, even the lower end one, like all over the government, okay, is giving free implants. Along with that package, there should be maintenance also.
Correct.
I mean, that is very essential. If they really want the child to benefit from an implant, then this should be part of their contribution as well.
If they really mean it, you know, they mean that the child be hearing and enjoying his life, you know, his hearing.
It will make life much easier for the country all around. If a child can be independent and communicate and
Yes.
can apply for jobs on par with their hearing peers,
Yeah.
which is happening now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's happening to dozens and dozens of children, hundreds of children. So they should see the outcome and then decide if,
Yeah.
if they need convincing.
Initially when I was approached for the implant, it was about 18 to 19 lakhs, and it was the cost of a house or a flat in the
Yeah.
90s. It was that much of a, it still is for quite a few parents. We've helped plenty of parents in Hyderabad get upgrades from their basic implants. Very, very kind friends, group of friends, parents who have come forward, and all our Sprint users are upgraded. So there's a lot of warmth and concern on an individual basis, but it's not on a huge basis. Yeah, it's not like,
Well, there are many companies also supporting this.
yeah.
I mean, at ORED Mumbai, we have 80% of our children who are taught free. And we have to forever run around collecting funds for their upgrades, for accessories, as you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know how this is going to change, because they've all had free implants due to, Dr. Kirtane's good offices with companies who have given several hundreds of implants to
Yeah.
children.
It
But
doesn't
it's
come
still
from
a
the
very big
doctor so
problem.
easily here.
Yeah.
Individuals have to work very hard towards it.
True. So it's like because today you want to buy a car with 10 lakhs, you can.
Venu, yeah, 1 minute, Venu. I approached a doctor who had done 3 children. It was his children, yeah? And we needed a solid upgrade. And there's so much money in the hospitals, but then not even a little bit was given for these children. And so friends came in and did 3-4 implants just like that, upgraded them. Doctors are not concerned. At least here, not
I don't know
concerned
if
with
it's
the.
not concern, Kim. How many children can they sponsor?
Well,
How many children
they
can
have
the
the
hospital
funds.
sponsor?
They have the funds. It's not that they don't. They have
But they
it.
have the funds for several things, not just cochlear implants.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
so that's true, because it's a big issue. It's not just 1 or 2 children.
Yeah.
So, and there are a few questions here from Maureen, that how long do you follow through your children? Is there any age limit, or until the child has reached a certain amount of independence? How many years you have to follow through? This is the one question, because it seems like an ever ending, because
Speech and
5 years,
language is a
10 years.
never-ending process. You can always it all depends on upgrading a child's listening and optimal use of his implant or his hearing aids, his ability to communicate as he grows with his peers. There's so much. Initially, it's just about 2 years if all goes well, given the different variables that the child comes with. Yeah, each child is different. Each child comes with his own listening, his own family background, the implant, the hearing aid, the situation at home, lifestyle at home, the ability to be able to come for therapy or not. So we say minimum 2 years.
Wonderful. So Kevin is asking a question here. Do comment on how far do you manage to integrate a child into mainstream society and a career?
We actually, 95% of our children are integrated into mainstream for the last 18 years. We have 1 or 2 children who found it very difficult because of they came in late, and the mother tongue is Telugu, and Telugu schools are basically only government schools. Yeah, and they don't want them to go to government schools. And so it has been difficult, and that also answers Pravin's question that Chennai, Bangalore, and Bombay are much more settled in terms of being available for children with disabilities. Very formed, very functional. Hyderabad, no, not at all. So it has been difficult for some children, but some of them have broke the ice also and gone through and sat for 10th class exams with English, even though with a Telugu background, using a few exemptions that were available for them, and come out with fantastic percentages of above 64 and 70. And some are really 90%, some are 10 pointers. So these are wonderful things to see that the parents take on completely. Parents come with their own agendas. You can't judge a parent with what he wants to give his child and how much he wants to give and how far he wants to go. And as a therapist, one has no right to interfere in that. So one has to do their job and do it well, and open up all, and stop looking at the disability so much as the ability also, as this is ongoing. Yeah, the ongoing process is beautiful. It can continue for a few more years, and different issues come up at different times. Therapy actually doesn't, it ends at the center, but parents are equipped and trained, because it's a family-based therapy, where parents are trained with the listening skills, with the skills of being able to reach out to their children, work with them on a 80% basis, which is and 20% is where friends and teachers and everyone else come in. The child gains a lot more, and the parent is the primary caregiver, and the primary teacher, and the primary model. Well,
Wonderful, Kim.
I might
one
teach
question,
with a certain accent, but the child picks up the accent of the parent, which is a beautiful thing, because that's his culture, that's his home, it's his life. No one is to judge. Like, I have one of my kids coming in and says, "Kimma, how are you? Annam tinava? Huh? You had food, huh?" So it's very cultural. So this is the beauty of language, that they can be themselves. They can pick up what is in the environment, who speaks like what, and be able to communicate. I have another child. I asked her, "How is आपका teacher का नाम क्या है? क्या है कि?" The answer is "क्या है कि?" You know, that beautiful expression that anyone in Hyderabad uses.
Wonderful.
क्या है कि? I asked, I said, "You don't know your teacher's name?" I said, "Teacher का नाम नहीं पता? क्या है कि? मम्मा से पूछो." And it is so beautiful to hear it, and I love it. Yeah. And even swear words, you know, that the family uses with love, come out so easily by the child. What does Nana call you? What does Nanama call you? One says Donga Munda. And when he was 2 or 3 years old, how beautiful is that? Yeah. These are lovely things to treasure, and it breaks the ice with the parent. And that's our job, to break the ice with the parent. The child must be able to communicate with the parent first, not with me, with the parent and his own family. The trust between parent and child.
Thank you, Kim. So it is at the end of the day, not that everybody becomes a great orator or a speaker, but it is actually they express themselves, and they will be as natural as they can be. It's not that forcibly they make them speak so that they can only speak, nothing else.
If you don't listen, you are not a speaker. You don't speak.
Thank you,
And
Kim.
if you listen well, you become a wonderful speaker.
Yeah. Yes, Kim. So what is the message you give it to parents? Because parents usually will be under more stress when they have the child with some or other challenge, and they may go through these therapy centers, and this is an ongoing process, and they'll have more stress. Sometimes if they're financially also facing challenges, they may cause themselves that they feel that this is their karma. And I have addressed the parents in government institution because they know that I'm also a parent, so they invited me many times. So how to take out the pain first of all, and to help the child. So
When a
how do
parent
you do
walks in, actually it is a very it's a part of the active grieving process where they're taking a step forward. Taking a step forward towards, they don't know where, but one step forward is that active grieving process where they ask questions. They're able to try and get some answers from you as a therapist, as a doctor. They come with hope, they come with trust, they come with faith, they come with, you know, you have the skill to help my child, I don't have it. Yeah. Will my child talk? A lot of stigma attached to any disability. The parent feels very, very hurt, blamed. She carries guilt for a long time, that without knowing what the reason for the deafness is. It's part of the grieving process. Yeah. It's shock, it's denial, it's searching for other alternatives, a transition being made, and also being able to put down actively by being present. Yeah. Asking for help when they approach you, and gaining the therapist's trust to move forward. Yeah. And a therapist also has to be a caregiver. Yeah. A counselor, a guide, a coach, a listener, non-judgmental, also a person who would uplift the child, the parent, and the family, answer many questions, and also believe that given the situation of the child, that we can move in this together, where you're not on one side and I'm not on the other. Yeah. And the child is there, but the whole family becomes a priority in this process, because the parents take, the state of the parents' mind and heart is absolutely essential for therapy to even be a good outcome. Yeah, in the child. She has to participate or he has to participate. We have both parents coming in for therapy. Chitti Babu, most of them, yeah. We've had, most of our Saturdays, we've had fathers being a part of therapy and their child's journey. So work is divided in terms of activities at home on the weekends as well as during the week. Yeah. The mother tongue is important. English is the acquired language. The second language that we look at, it's a choice a parent makes. And I have grown to speak and listen in Telugu for the last 7 years using the AVT approach. And I get a pat on the back for it.
Thank you, Kim. So thank you so much for giving that message. Now you see, not able to hear.
No, you're not very loud, huh?
Not loud. Okay, so I'll because I'm listening more to as per the today's topic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kim, there's a question from Indumati Rao. If you would like to speak, I'll unmute you. And anybody can raise their hand so that I can unmute them. Anyway, they type the question. Can you share AVT in rural areas? How does mainstream teachers are learning? 76% live in rural areas as per 2011 disability census.
Yeah.
So how they are getting the help? How they are?
We've had nearly 50% of our children coming from all the districts in Andhra and Telangana for the last 18 years. Yeah. Since surgeries have been done at Apollo, Kim's Hospital, and Ma Hospital. And all those children from all the three hospitals have come to us, yeah, for therapy. They have their own therapies running at the hospitals. They've also paid for their therapy, but they choose to come to ORED because they find that there's a lot more progress done very quickly. And we work with accuracy as well as working with the parent and getting down the child with getting down the goals together, working together with everything that we plan for the child. It's not about you sit outside the therapy room, which usually happens with every other hospital. And we can't move our center to rural areas. We are struggling with what we have today. We're working with the right kind of attitude and intention for the last 18 years, and with time given, every child is welcome. Every child is welcome. That they know. We have many children, many parents on the group today who've come from Apollo and Ma Hospital, as well as from Kim's Hospital. Yeah. Regardless of therapy centers running there, it's all right. It's all right. We are not connected directly with all the hospitals, but the doctors definitely know about ORED, Hyderabad. And whenever we meet, there is absolute gratitude and reverence towards the children and to us and what we've done with the children and the families.
Thank you, Kim. So there are more.
I'd like to come in here for a minute.
Aziza.
Yeah. You know, with this lockdown everywhere, we have started online therapy with our children. And we're having a wonderful time experimenting, obviously, because we're
Yeah.
all learning. It's a completely new skill.
Yeah.
So talking about reaching out to therapists in villages, I'm sure we can make use of this as well. If we had support from the government, where therapists in districts far away, it's not possible for them to travel even otherwise. I'm sure therapy could be taught to teachers on the net.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of possibility now since we've started experimenting with it. Yeah, it was always a one-to-one therapy as part of the principles.
But this
we
is also
follow.
one-to-one. We're doing our sessions exactly like we would at the center.
Yeah.
Thank you,
So we can
Aziza.
reach out to therapists.
Thank you, Aziza. I was about to ask why don't we make use of technology, and you already started. That is,
I can't hear you at all.
you can't hear me.
Now I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So thank you, Aziza. I was about to ask that question, so you answered. Thank you so much for that. So, in fact, many places, in fact, ORID can have the online classes in different regional languages. So Hindi and wherever possible in all the regional languages, therapists even not only for the children but also these mentoring to the people whosoever wants to be a therapist can also be done online. So here is a question: what are the characteristics, skill set needed to become an AVT therapist? Aziza and Kim, so can you throw some light on this?
Aziza.
Well, in India, you have to go through a special education course, postgraduate course. And then there is a special AVT course that is being, now actually there are 2-3 centers that are conducting these courses, they're diploma courses. And that's how you can do it in India. Otherwise, of course, there is a much more complex and long-term course to become an international AV therapist. We have 5 or 6 such therapists in India. But yes, general, if they have done their B.Ed in HI, they can do the special course for AVT and start doing therapy.
And this is available in Mumbai.
It's also
Aliyawardia
available
National-
in the south in Mysore. I
Mysore.
think they're also doing it in Chennai, if I'm not mistaken. There are a few places that are conducting these courses.
You have a diploma as well as a 6 months course. So
No,
a 1 year
that,
course.
and not anymore. That 6-month course now is changed over to 1 year, and it's a diploma course. And it's recognized by the RCI.
Wonderful. So that gives the answer, and I think all the questions been answered. So any more questions, please raise your hands and I can unmute.
Again, I can't hear you at all.
So I'm sorry. So I'm speaking as loud as possible.
Very
No,
good.
it's okay.
Speak loud. You're the one who's organizing it. Huh?
Thank you, Kim. Thank you for being here. So thank you, Aziza. You have so passion and you have answered all the questions. So what is the future for the next 1 decade for this cochlear implanting program? Earlier, I think 5 years ago or 10 years ago, it was detected later. So because it was not when the child is born. I think last 3-4 years, every hospital it became a mandatory that they have to do the test of these all visual and audio
No,
and other things. Yeah.
no, Venu, every
No,
hospital does
no.
not do it, and that's the sad part of it.
Yes, it's
The
just
government has to
screening done.
make it compulsory for this
Nobody's made
neonatal
it mandatory.
screening to be done.
Yeah.
So thank
It's
you,
not
Ajiza, for
mandatory at
bringing
all.
this.
Yeah,
Other,
Venu, it is not mandatory
oh,
in any hospital, anywhere, not even the government hospitals.
No, no.
Very few.
See, I think, Kim, I
Yes.
think in Kerala, in a few states, the
Yeah.
government has made it mandatory, but it's not all India.
Not all over India, not in
No.
Hyderabad yet. A
Not
basic
in
screening
Bombay
is
either.
done, follow up
No.
is not done. So that can be very detrimental then. Yeah.
so I think as parents like Chittubabu Garu and many people are very active, we
We
can
should, yeah.
send a tweet to Mr. KTR or a health minister. It doesn't cost them anything, so that there's no
Correct.
political system involved. It's just
Right.
one GIVO. I think we can also tweet to our Prime Minister. Maybe all parents together, if we can do that. So probably some answer may come. So we will meet on digital platform every month. So I will initiate in RED. So Kim and Aziza can come. Aziza, thank you so much for coming here today. Your
My
inputs and
pleasure.
insights are very much relevant today, useful today, not only for parents but also for many therapists must be here. Doctors are here. So and next one decade, what is your vision for the future, Aziza? Because I can see you ever young, because your spirit is so high. That what is your vision for the next few years, and what is the mission you have been doing, and what message you would like to give it to the future therapist, parents, of course, not the children now, therapist and parents. Yes, Aziza, it's over to you.
Well, under the circumstances today, I think everyone should polish up their IT skills and start online therapy
Yeah.
and make it successful, because we don't know how long this is going to go on for, and we can't sit back and say we'll wait for the lockdown to be opened up. So I think for the next 2 years, I'm looking at a lot of webinars, online therapy, and parent counseling
Yeah.
in this manner.
Wonderful, Aziza. So I think Aziza, I request you to give me one more session exclusively by you. For therapists, we will invite, and for parents, we will invite. And I think, seeing how proactive you are already, next 3 years, we don't have to wait, because it is a new normal. So I think congrats, Kim, for your first webinar. This will be the starting, so you will have to help many therapists and teachers. So
Thank you.
I cannot see any more further questions, or if somebody raises the hand, we will wait, or we will conclude this session today. So I'll wait. Question to Kim: what are the characteristic skill set needed to become effective AVT therapist? So he is asking you. Aziza answered. Now Kim, you have to answer.
Who's asking? Maureen.
This is Raghunath Parvatam.
Who's asking? The AVT skills?
Yeah, it is. What are the characteristic skill set needed to become effective AVT therapist?
Well, he's been a part of the therapy with his own daughter, so he'd know. The consciousness of you being a coach and a guide to the parent is very important, which we follow. A one-to-one therapy that we definitely have to follow, because each child is different. Each level of listening is different. Working with each child is very different. We get to know more and more about the child. The right kind of hearing aids or cochlear implants that the child uses is amplification is important. Integration of spoken language in their daily lives is very important. These are the skills, the techniques, the principles that we follow for an AVT approach. We also have the one-to-one therapy that we talk about, which doesn't happen usually with other centers. Also that the parent participation is 100%. We don't ignore at all. It's not about us. It's about the parent and child and the family. So parent participation and they as primary caregivers is utmost important. You are not there with the child as a therapist in their homes. And so you have to guide and train and coach parents to understand their children much better with the skills that are being used at therapy. The time taken, and also working together as a team, you said. Doctors, audiologists, therapists, parents, school, all children at the end of it all have to use spoken language as their medium because it's so possible,
उनको सवाल पूछना है।
especially if you've chosen listening as well as spoken language or the AVT approach. Yeah? And also the patience and guidance that a parent would require, the interest or the experience or the expectations that the parents come also with have to be counseled and looked at. We also looking at a whole family nurturing, not only the child but the entire family, all that the family goes through at that time and through the years. I have many parents who finished with us and gone ahead in life and still get back on different issues of growing up, adolescence. So you're always there guiding and looking forward to what else could they do in their lives, or you could take them a bar higher. So you raise the bar for them as individuals, as children, as parents constantly. So even if the children have gone away, finished with us in the early years, we still keep in touch because it's an ongoing process. Because the expectations are high when they come in. And so we try to cater to it. Yeah. And also accessibility that the parents should have to be a part of a therapy center, to be able to access a therapist, to be able to access the skills, the techniques, the work that we do, the books, the information, the social interaction that we have with other parents who are going around or go through the same situations. We don't really go over the situation or under the situation as therapists, but we go through it all at all times. With parent, with child, with family. So that's why outcomes have been good from ORED Hyderabad. Everybody knows about it. We don't talk about it too much because the joy is with the parents. So we have dancers, we have singers, we have flute players, we have pianists, we have cricketers and girls that too, who are a part of mainstream peer group and doing well. We have many singers, which is unheard of for a deaf child. We have children who've mastered and skilled in games like Hriday with his chess and his Rubik Cube. We have children who are cyclists and triathlons like Nithya, who can swim and run and what else? Nithya skate, I think. Swim as a triathlon, and she's been winning all along. She sings, she plays her flute. So we have children who pick up a lot of things. So the accessibility, the environment that you create for them at home as well as outside has to be absolutely enriching and nurturing. So that's where we come in to help and guide and coach constantly.
Thank you, Kims. It's a wonderful time. And have you ever imagined that 2 hours we can participate in this? And thank you so much.
I talk a lot, Venu. You can ask my parents.
Yeah. So you have sent me some pictures. One of the parents sent you. So I hope everybody can see this.
Yeah, that's Abhinaya.
Yeah, it is Rahul Ranjan photography. He is born deaf. He is written in brackets. I think he has become a wonderful photographer. He has made these pictures. Your ability is stronger than your disability. So hearing and speech impaired Abhinaya. She is an actress. So another picture he made that Thomas Alva Edison also has a hearing challenge but became a great scientist. And Mani Ram Sharma won IAS 2009. So he's total hearing impaired. So but that did not stop him. And then Dr. Madan Vasishta pioneered research work in Indian Sign Language so total hearing impaired, but he has become a scientist.
Parent had shared that with me.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah,
it's
that's what I just want to show it to some parents. Your ability is stronger than your disability. So, hearing and speech impaired, Abigail Beelfuss, a free spirited traveler, a deaf interpreter. So, I think the word deaf is no more required. So, anyway, that Miss Deaf World 2019, so Vidisha Balian, and we can see a lot of people. So wonderful. Thank you for sharing this. Virendra Singh, great wrestler.
most
So
welcome.
anybody, this is not an hindrance to achieve anything in your life.
Of
Rahul
course.
Ranjan Curry got All India first in NID entrance. So what I mean is, when today it is no more a matter of so it's no more a matter of a disability. It's a matter of, so I think anybody able to see me? I stopped the share.
Do you have any of us?
Yeah, so it is actually one has to understand in our system there are multiple intelligence theory. Not everybody will excel in everything. And according to Howard Gardner, there are 10 intelligences: linguistic intelligence, mathematical intelligence, musical intelligence, picture intelligence, kinesthetic intelligence, and in nature, interpersonal intelligence, intrapersonal intelligence, spiritual intelligence. There are about 10 intelligences. You can search in multiple intelligences. Everybody is aware. But unfortunately, we have a system, one has to get 90% in every subject.
Correct.
If Srinivas Ramanujam parents think that he has to get 100% in every subject, he would have called a stupid, because he got 100% in maths and other subjects zero. If Dhoni doesn't know maths, what does it? How does it make a difference? Virat Kohli studied intermediate, but does it stop him to become a champion or get married to an Anushka? So we need to understand that we're all uniquely gifted. Our uniqueness is as unique as our fingerprints. So this one, earlier it was definitely a problem when you are not able to hear. But now when cochlear implants have come, when therapy is possible, when one can hear, don't worry about speech. People who speak excellent speeches, not all will not become prime ministers. They may become call center employees also. But it doesn't mean that only speaking is everything. That is only one ability. In fact, when one doctor asked me, is your elder son normal? I said, we have so many senses in our life. How many senses we use every day? Do we use, when did you last time saw the sunrise or sunset? When did you hear the silence of the nature in the early morning? Birds chirping.
Silence, they say silence speaks.
Silence.
Yeah. So when we really want, children to listen up, it's a choice of a parent. Correct. I could also, when I was with my young child, I could have also gone into sign language and lip reading and total communication. But I chose not to, because I knew the world is very harsh, and the world where we were going through was very difficult. And if she wasn't going to be a listener and speaker, it would go against her. So we gave it a try. I didn't even realize what the outcome would be. We gave it a try, and I was open to anything that would come my way that would integrate my child into life. It's all about integration and not becoming a recluse. Yeah.
Thank you, Kim. So I have a question for Aziza. So no problem. Even some people have a commitment; they can leave, but this will be recorded and kept so that some parents this will be helpful. Aziza, I need your time once again, because I want this message to go to teachers also. Because in every class, not every school has got a special teachers. Many schools do not give admission, even private schools. Many parents are aware of that. Out of 10 schools you go for admission, you will get one school can give you, and they politely tell you that we don't have teachers. So, and any school which has got more than 20 definitely cannot pay attention to these children. And sometimes when they ask question, they don't understand, so they don't listen. So that inclusiveness is still missing. Even in Hyderabad it is missing, and then imagine in rural areas. So the culture of the school, most of the school, I've seen a video where one girl comes with a artificial leg, but within seconds the other children hugs in other country. But in our place, the bullying can be there, and people can do a lot of mischievous things with these children. And sometimes they feel bad, and self-esteem is definitely, they feel something wrong with me. And it will take a lot of effort from parents to console them, to tell them you are normal, because not even normal, you are extraordinary, because they have a privilege. I feel that they can switch off the cochlear implant or machine whenever they want. That's a privilege. I don't have that privilege.
We can't, we play deaf, we play deaf many times, but our children can actually switch off and say, I won't hear you anymore.
You're right, Kim. Always put a joke. If there is anybody invents, maybe hearing aids people should listen to this. And if somebody invents a small machine, an invisible small instrument where you can switch off, and so you will not listen. 50% husbands and 50% wives will buy and wear it without knowing to each other. That's a big market available.
So one can play deaf, if you choose to. It's all about choosing to.
So thank you so much,
And
all the
looking on-
parents, all the teachers and doctors and therapists. And thank you, a special thanks to Aziza.
Thank you, Aziza.
Accuracy is appreciated. Thank you, Kim, for being here. Kim,
Love
because of
Venu.
you, the whole country has come forward here. And more you have to do it online. Aziza, our mentor is with us. And you do it, second one in this week itself. Some other parents meeting, maybe in our end only I will propose. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for being here. Good night.
Thank you, Venu.
My
Thank you,
pleasure.
Aziza.